We are learning of a heated Oval Office meeting Friday where Trump allies floated ideas of ways to overturn the election.
Well, it's very clear that as President Trump continues to refuse to accept that he lost this presidential election to President-elect Joe Biden, the president is also still consulting aides and allies for more ways that he could possibly move to continue to contest this election, or at least undermine the legitimacy of Joe Biden's election as the 46th president of the United States. That Michael Flynn has brought up recently about using martial law to rerun the 2020 presidential election. I want you to listen to this crackpot idea brought up by Michael Flynn recently on another network, and then we'll talk about it.
He could order within the swing states, if he wanted to, he could take military capabilities and he could place them in those states and basically rerun an election in each of those states. I mean, it's not unprecedented. I mean, these people out there talking about martial law, it's like it's something that we've never done. Martial law has been instituted 64 times.
Basically, we've been in martial law the whole 2020. It just wasn't no military presence in the streets, you know, lockdowns and curfews and all this other kind of stuff. I'm just saying, like, let me show you.
Martial law is a last resort and, as a result, is extremely rare. The military tends to seize power during a time of political or social unrest. However, they often have the opposite effect, that is, creating a violent police state. So it's understandable that citizens of countries that have been placed under martial law several times would be wary of such conditions. For instance, during the attempted coup in Turkey, many citizens came out in support of their controversial president and ruling party. For those familiar with martial law, a corrupt or otherwise unjust government is oftentimes better than the alternative.
Who told you that?
Yeah, I don't know who is in charge of making that video, but no, you mean to tell me that martial law in those states, not the U.S. See, when they say martial law, everybody's thinking, oh man, this is gonna be no, they're talking about in those swing states. Truly, I mean, it ain't like you ain't been locked down in 2020 before. It's no different what Joe Biden's gonna do, you know. And I'm just saying. Hold up. Since we want to talk about coups, didn't know Obama them try to pull one? And yeah, let me go check.
Coup d'etat, albeit bloodless, but a coup nonetheless, where a faction of the government tries to take down the leader of the country. The evidence shows former President Barack Obama and the Obama-Biden administration were the hub of the bloodless coup. 4 spokes emanated from that hub, each with a man's name on it. Rod Rosenstein, in a scope memo, gave his friend he appointed special counsel Bob Mueller in the Russia investigation the names of Michael Flynn, Paul Manafort, George Papadopoulos, and Carter Page. Each spoke was an effort to get that person to flip on the president. The primary objective? Reverse the election of 2016.
When did you first become aware that the Obama administration was surveilling the Donald Trump campaign?
The Obama administration was not surveilling the Donald Trump campaign. Carter Page was a former member of the Trump campaign at the time that the FISA was initiated.
And what was the reason for the FISA on Carter Page?
There were a number of reasons. First, we had gotten the information that I was trying to point out here, that the Russians had made the overture that they wanted to be able to assist the Trump campaign.
Now, hold on, you said it had nothing to do with the Trump campaign. You said earlier that nobody was trying to get President Trump. Have you read the Horowitz Inspector General report?
I have. And Inspector General Horowitz found that he did not find any evidence of bias or a political motive.
Ms. Yates, with all due respect, Inspector General Horowitz found 17 material misstatements in those FISA applications, including a lawyer from the FBI who fraudulently altered a document and submitted it, and in fact took the question, was Carter Page an asset from the FBI for the CIA? The CIA said yes. he altered the document and changed it to a no. You're telling me that nobody wanted to get Trump? How about that lawyer that fraudulently altered a document to get this surveillance? Let me just make a final observation. You mentioned in your testimony the principled career men and women at the Department of Justice and the FBI, and you're right. There are tremendous principles whose integrity has been called into question by the profound politicization of the leadership of the department and of the Bureau. And to sign off on turning the FBI and the CIA into a tool of opposition research and attacking your political opponents, and to go all the way to the Oval Office as you did on January 5th with President Obama and Joe Biden, going after their political opponents, it's wrong, and it has done immeasurable damage to the professionals and the men and women of integrity at the Department of Justice and at the Bureau.
What's going on, everyone? Y'all don't find it funny that, not funny, but in that way, during George Floyd case, Black Lives Matter was already in San Francisco trying to, take care of that. But it was also around the globe. Now, coronavirus hit around the globe. Unrest hit around the globe. Me Too movement hit around the globe. Removing people out of power. Look around the globe right now. See how many individuals that was in power yelled cool and was removed. Look at Malaysia. Look at Russia. Venezuela 2002 it happened. Haiti. I'm just saying, like, this is not nothing new. So, you mean to tell me is that the coronavirus affected individuals around the globe. Unrest for minorities around the globe. And I guess the world messed up, huh? Not the U.S., y'all. No, wow. And then Me Too movement around the globe. Judge Kavanaugh. You mean to tell me, just out of the blue, 40-some years later, somebody gonna come up and say, hey, he harassed me. Not sexual assault. Harassed. I'm just saying. They may have used assault, but I've just been hearing a lot of harassment lately. We ain't using sexual assault no more, huh? Man, I'm just saying, this is a ploy to remove people out of power. Now, there's many ways you can pull a coup. Now, you can actually pull a coup yourself, but that's unfavorable to around the globe. So, what people start to do is use unrest instead of using military coups and things of that nature. So they use unrest, they use the people to get them riled up against one individual, right? Like they did President Trump. Then another way you can pull a coup is if you, besides, using military and blatantly doing it, like you say, unrest, and then you can actually force somebody into pulling a coup, and they don't know they pulling one. So as you're forcing them, they're actually defending themselves, but to the world, it looks like they're pulling a coup. Man, that's mean. But I mean, as I recall, you individuals already knew what was going to happen. Now, Bernie Sanders, you said it. Al Sharpton, you said it. Y'all was on TV saying it. And Nancy Pelosi said it. I'm going to play all this tomorrow. But, wow. So, y'all was already talking about him conceding before the election. Why would you talk about him conceding before the election if no one has voted yet? So you mean to tell me you already know you're gonna win because you weren't worried about that at that time? Okay. So, what way can I honestly win an election without winning the election, yet the whole world recognize me, right? You know what? We can rig the election, come up and say Joe Biden won, put it on the media. Once it gets out in the media, then other countries going to recognize it, like Australia, Canada. Oh, China was quiet. They ain't want to be sanctioned. So, wow. So if those individuals recognize Joe Biden as president-elect, not the American people, but other countries, then what that means is that as long as he's recognized by other countries, then he's president-elect. Now the UN can get involved. as long as Joe Biden and working with China and these countries, then they're going to make sure that the UN get involved and say, hey, he's president. He's president. Because one way to get somebody to believe in something is if you tell them over and over again, right? You tell somebody something long enough, they're going to believe it. So they just keep sliding on in. And eventually you're going to wear somebody down because normalcy, it takes 21 days to create a habit. It takes 21 days to get rid of that habit. Now, for 21 days, if I just keep telling you something over and over and over and over and over again, eventually you're going to start believing it. Or you're going to give up and say we lost. See, it's not these other countries in the UN don't have a say-so. It's the American people. See, we all seen what happened. Come on now. If you didn't, I don't care how you feel about President Trump. Right is wrong is wrong. And now they want to come out here and say what President Trump gonna do about the doggone martial law. Now if he pull the martial law, now guess what? Oh, people gonna rise up against him. Instead, he's protecting you. Portland, Seattle. I'm just saying. So if I can beat him to the punch, first one to deliver the news, right? That's how it works. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's come on here tomorrow and show the people really what's up. Until then, subscribe, share, like, do all that. Love y'all.